Good morning and welcome back to the Celtic fans. It's always good to get really ice cold water in your system first thing in the morning. Weather today is looking good. Oh, Father, why are you so sad on this 1st of August morning? 'Cause Sun Celtic haven't signed an outfield player and the league starts this weekend. Oh, son, I see it in memory too far out distant day when being just a lad like you. Anyway, big update when it comes to Adam Idah. We'll wait till some people jump on because it's all just catching up this morning. Anyway, first in was Paul Emery, morning and Baz. Trips, hail, hail. Port Chops Express was in. Baz from the Doric County. And Scott is in the house also. Scott is in the house also. So there's breaking news when it comes to Adam Idah, the ongoing saga from Adam Idah, which Norwich are reluctant to let public what they actually value Adam Idah at. The journalist from Australia, fucking Jesus, too early for a live. Too early for a live. It is. Oh, the lives first thing in the morning should be banned. It's not first thing in the morning for me, it's 10:15. Anyway, Paddy Davitt, the Norwich go-to guy, says another day /night. Another Idah to Celtic link. And the Norwich City Football Club position is unchanged. Until any club reach the valuation, he stays put. Certainly no sense at this stage. This is now in the end game. And then some people are asking, Paddy, how much do you think that Celtic have supposedly offered 4.5 million, but Norwich are wanting close to 7.5 million for him. Is Adam Idah a £7 million player? Tell me what you think in the comments section, as always. Right, let's jump back into the comments. There's quite a few people jumped on. So yeah, that's the update from the Adam Idah side of stuff. There's a lot of speculation going around last night that since Adam Idah spat the dummy out, hopefully that Celtic can use that to their advantage and help get the player before Flag Day. It doesn't look like that will happen. We are on Thursday. Aren't we? Fucking day of the week it is. Yeah, it's Thursday. It is Thursday. See when the missus is in here. Just every day, just the exact same. It's Groundhog Day. Yes, so we're on Thursday. I don't think that the Adam Idah deal can progress quick enough to get it done for Flag Day. So do not get your hopes up. Adam Idah will not be joining us before Flag Day. I think Adam Idah personally would have loved, because let's face it, Flag Day at Celtic is all about remembering the boys of the old brigade, as to say. Yes, it's about remembering the boys that done it last season for us. And it's generally then, at half-time, that Celtic bring on the new players. Woohoo! But this season, we don't have. Give them 4 million and Mikey Johnson, problem solved, says the Lanky. Right, let's jump into the comment section and see all the lovely people that are in the house this morning. Paul Hogan, greeting from County Clare Island. Tam Max in the house. Paul Baird's in the house. Brown Warrior, morning Baz off today, so caught an early one. Good, cracking Brown Warrior. Sandwich Boy says good morning. Kevin Cassidy says good morning, troops. Hope you have a great day. Lucianne Hughes says good morning. Brown Warrior, 5 thumbs up. There's 17 thumbs up now, and there's currently 92 viewers. There's 87. That doesn't work out because it said there's 65 views. YouTube's playing funny this morning. Morning, troops. Have a great day. This is Kevin. Lanky says good morning. Frank Miller says morning, Baz, and all the Celtic fans. Says Frank. Paul says Idah. No, Idah. No, I don't expect that to get done. If it's going to get done, it will not be done before Flag Day. I think the only one that we're waiting on, and Celtic still haven't announced. Yes, this morning we're sitting at 9:15 Celtic part time, and Celtic have still not announced, even though Brendan Rodgers said yesterday, yeah, it should be done. It should be done in a few hours. There's nothing being posted on Celtic social media this morning. So yeah. it is an interesting one. So let's jump back into the comments. Mary says, good morning. Shirley says, good morning, everyone. Brown Warrior says, will he down tools? He's already down tools by refusing to go to the Austria camp, the training camp. So I don't know much more. I mean, all Celtic can do is go in with an improved offer and try and force the hand. But there has been no talks, and there's been nothing from Celtic. So I don't know if Celtic are looking at someone else in the background and saying, look, can we look at some, if Brendan Rodgers has maybe got a list of people, and we don't know. Let's face it. Morning, boys from Balligary, says Anthony Karcher. You'll know my brother, James, and you'll know Craig and Michael. Anthony, you'll know Craig and Michael. Yep. Good morning, boys. Good morning, Baz. It says Jerry. Paul says morning. Celtic woman. Hail. Big Rab B says morning, Baz. 6 million is the most for Idah. I'll move on and get the Aberdeen guy. The Sheep wants 6 million. The Sheep wants 6.5 million. The Sheep wants 6.5 million for him. Is he a better player than Adam Idah? Does he have the capability of having a sell on? Because let's face it, that's what Celtic buy players in for, to sell them on. Adam Idah is at the correct age range for selling on. Don't forget, our club loves a Friday announcement for players. Yes, they do. And that's when Paulo Bernardo will be announced. Oh, me. It's like, Paulo must be sitting in the background going, nah, I'm not doing it yet. There has to be something. I mean, if he's in the country and if he's passed his medical, and Brendan Rodgers said yesterday, yeah, it'll be done in a couple of hours. Hold my pint, says the fucking boardroom. I do think that there is a power struggle going on at Celtic Park, personally. I think there's a power struggle going on in the background, and nobody else will talk about it. I don't think that any other podcast will talk about it, but I personally think that I think there's a bit of a power struggle going on in the background about who really runs the club. Whether it be the manager thinks that he has, when he came back, I think the manager was maybe told that he would have full control of the football side of it, which he should. The manager should have the final say on anything to do with players, and the manager should have the final say on who he gets in. And I think Brendan Rodgers has been trying to do that this summer, but the way that the club is run by the people in charge, who have been there for a long time, but I think the fact that Dermot Desmond, I think if Dermot Desmond was in the building on an ongoing basis, on a weekly basis, I think things might move a bit quicker, because Nicholson and co just seem to be holding up the ball, as they say in football terminology. And morning, Baz, from where? Are you coming in from, Jim? I'm not even going to pronounce that because I get slated all the time for my pronunciations. Good morning, Paul, says Baz. This is morning. Brown Warrior says all that matters is it gets done. Said it weeks ago, clubs don't want to lose their assets. Well, is Adam Idah an asset? Because he never really featured. He wasn't a main player. He was a bit part player for them. If they wanted to put him out on loan, it was Celtic's fault for not getting the obligation or the option to buy. Never even mind an obligation to buy. An option to buy would have been even better. But we never got either of that. We need a centre back. We do need a centre back. And I did say in the thumbnail, we're going to end up with free transfers. Not three, free. We're going to end up with a free transfer. And the free transfer that I'm thinking of is a defender that is currently without a club, that was at Copenhagen last year, that went to Scotland with the Euros, and he played for Aberdeen once, and Celtic made an offer for him to Aberdeen, but it wasn't good enough. But he is now a free agent. Are Celtic going to end up with, to make the squad better, are we going to end up with loan players and free players? Which is disappointing, because yet again this morning I seen that there was Barcelona have just sold a player to, I think it was Fulham or somebody, for 7 million. There's lots of deals going around in the wage bracket and the price bracket that Celtic can afford. but we seem reluctant to be getting deals over the line. I've seen a lot of deals around Europe and down in England in the 5 to 7 million bracket. But Celtic seem to have an incapability to go in at that 7 million and just go, right, we're going to pay the price. I mean, look at it. We had an option to buy Paulo Bernardo at 6 million. Option to buy at the end of his loan. 6 million, take him. That's the deal. Right, perfect. Celtic then go, nah, do you know what? We don't want to pay 6 million. Why not? That's the contract that you signed. 6 million is yours. We'll give you 3. Nah, not good enough. We'll give you 3.4. Right, fucking go on then. Jesus. Go on then. If he was a 6 million, he's clearly confident as an asset. If they want 6 million, he's clearly considered as an asset. Yeah, we could say that. Jumps to Anahar. Anahar. Where the fuck even is that? Well, Google it. I'm sure folk just make shit up. Where is that? Right. Barcelona. It's a dress shop in Barcelona. In India. That's a fuck. Maps. You're in India. Fair play. It's coming up in India. My book. No, it's not. That can't be right. That's not right at all. It's called being a tight ass. Brent Warrior says if they want 6 million, yep, been that. Paul says there's definitely a power struggle within the board and the manager. He's been sold a dream which wasn't there. If you did in the building things, yeah, if I was in the building, things would be different because I'd make sure that Dermot was in the building a lot more. I think that although these people in charge at Celtic never seem to change position, and they do have the best interest at Celtic heart from a business point of view, but I think that we're going round in circles here. Scott McKenna is in training with Aberdeen, says Lanky. Well, that wouldn't surprise me if he went back to Aberdeen. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Maybe Celtic aren't going to go for him after all. If it's in training with Aberdeen, it looks like they'll offer him a contract then. You're not going to jump ship to somebody else if you're up at Aberdeen training. So yeah. There we go. That'll be another one that bites the dust then, won't it? It'll be another one that bites the dust that we could have had, we should have had, and never had. Anyway, let me see if Celtic have updated anything this morning. And nada. Next match. There we go. So Celtic have an update. 3 days to go. The boys will unfurl the Champions League flag in paradise this Sunday. First comment. Fucking sign players. Sign some players. Told you. Oh, Jesus. Which means we've 72 hours for this sexy mofo back. Nicholson has taken 2 months. Nicholson has taken 2 months to try and target 2 players who were at the club for a year permanently signed. Utter shambles of a CEO and the board, says MarkBoy67 on Twitter. That is correct. And we still don't have a left back, a left centre back, an additional 2 strikers. Although buzzing to watch Liam Scales again. It says Matt O'Reilly Ballon d'Or. Will they delay kickoff so that we can prepare a new outfield players? Another one says, thinking about attending a new sports bar. Has anyone been there? Is there a queue to get in? Fucking bigger issues at Celtic than attending the sports bar, mate. Still haven't signed anyone. This is an effing embarrassment. Great. Can we now sign some players, please? Admin. We are Celtic not starting this new season. This is shocking. Why are Celtic not starting in this new season? Yeah, this is shocking. And we're still weaker than last season. Please announce Idah and Bernardo, please. That's not going to happen. Tony Boy, are you taking the piss now? Says Sir Dave Fan Club. We are weaker than last season, and that says something. A lot of signings to be announced in the next 3 days then, says Davey. You're taking the piss. You have butchered this window up to now, says Honey Badger. It's only John Kane was here to see this. Yes. Now, there's a man that was Celtic through and through that died this year, passed away, and God love that man because he was such an influence in Fergus McCann taking over at Celtic. He was Fergus McCann's right-hand man. And how you would love to have someone like that around about Celtic just now. I think that Celtic have gone backwards over the last few years on a forward-thinking note. And I'm not saying on a business note, so don't jump on the fucking bandwagon and saying that I'm dissing the board, that they're this and that and the next thing. They're not. From a business point of view, they are good for the club. From a football team point of view, they're holding the club back. Finances in a record position. Share price equals high. No outfield players bought. One striker at the club. One left back. The manager is talking about us snoozing. Not good enough, says Liam. Next up is no quality left back. No second striker. No central defender on the left. Unfurl some signings. You with a weaker squad than last season, more signings to go. You've got a cheek, make some signings. 3 days, you're telling us. Spend our money. Regards, the support. I'm going to retweet that one. Says Mark Murphy. That was a good one. Spend our money. Regards, the support. Yeah. And if you're thinking about announcing Bernardo today, well, somehow get Dermot Peter and Michael Nicholson are absolutely shambolic stewardship of our club. Then you've got the right to go and take a good effort yourself, you complete amateurish, money-grabbing bastards. I'm going to repost that one also. If you want to go into my Twitter, you'll see that. Starting the new season with Scales as our first choice is ridiculous. Spend some money, you effing charlatans. Without a quality left back, without a second striker, without a central defender on the left, the board are in a coma. The fans are waking up. Hallelujah! Celtic fans are finally waking up to the shambolic running of the club that this board has. On a financial football sense, they are fantastic. From a football sense, they are letting Brendan Rodgers down big style. The board, Nicholson and co, need to answer questions from the public. The Celtic fans have had enough. The Celtic fans have had enough. Our board are doing a great job in business. But yeah, let's not help in the question, Barry, because they are dominating. No time in history. We are dominating like no, that's their argument. That is their argument. They're saying that we're successful on the park. We want to be successful off the park. Well, we're hoarding money like... Jesus. Anyway, James Smith says, Baz, are you surprised that Lawwell was holding the club back? There's a mole, and it's Lawwell. Yeah, is that? Soapy Van Shuey says, Baz, I think the board see that the Rangers team and they think that they can win the league without buying anyone. Yes. And yes. I'm going to jump back onto the lands of Twitter just to see what more people are saying. Guaranteed hundreds of empty seats this season. Season ticket holders will just say, I've got my season ticket, I'm going to just pick and choose the games that we'll go to. And it'll be the big games. And then people will complain about the empty seats at Celtic Park. They'll be like, there needs to be a ticket exchange. No, there doesn't. There doesn't need to be a ticket exchange scheme. There needs to be the Celtic board wake up and listen to the fans, for God's sake. It's too early in the morning for this. It's only 10:30. 9:30 Celtic Park time. Going to just announce Bernardo. Want to use unfurl a new player, outfield player, you effing clowns. Announce Idah and Bernardo. Peter, stop it. I'm going to repost that one. 6 players in, please. The first of August, and we have no major signings. The league starts in 3 days. Never, ever, I cannot think. Tell me in the comments section, when was the last time that we were 3 days away from... It's 9:30 in Fife. I know it's 9:30 in Fife, Monty. I'm an hour in front. Rodgers will leave again. He won't. Rodgers will not leave. Right? Let's stop this nonsense. Brendan won't leave. Brendan will stay for the fight. And then Brendan will make sure, in his subtle way, Brendan has made it known public. Brendan is saying things public to let you know Brendan's a clever man. Brendan's a clever man. It's time that you started listening to the little snippets that Brendan says in his interviews that are basically putting the blame on the board, on Nicholson and co. He's telling you what is going on in the background. He has said yesterday publicly that the club are snoozing. Back in 2019, the Green Brigade unfurled a banner that said, "Do not fall asleep at the wheel." They've not only fallen asleep at the wheel, they've stopped. They have stopped. It's 1690 in Govan, Baz. Yeah, it's still 1690 in Govan. Buy players now. We need a football director. We don't need a football director. We don't. We need a board that just... What is a football director going to do? What is a football director going to do? He's going to go between the manager and the board. That delays things. In Celtic terms, that delays things. We don't need a football director. We need Nicholson to get his finger out. We need our owner to turn up on the Monday morning, walk into Celtic Park and go, "What the F are you playing at? What are you playing at? Why is it taking so long?" I want answers. I don't just want my bonus at the end of the season on my shares, my 30 million in shares. I want answers on what's going on. We're 3 days away from the start of the season. Our owner needs to show face rather than swanning about playing golf. Hail, Baz, what the fuck is going on? Why are players so slow getting in? Lawwell walks in, Ambition walks out. Lawwell walked out. Ange Postecoglou and Ambition walked in the door. There is a direct correlation, and the fans are starting to wake up and see it. When you jump onto the Twitter timeline at Celtic, come on, boys. A guy now sticking, make believe, sign players for F's sake. My Spanish isn't the best, but that looks a decent 11. Copa America. That's Alistair Johnson. There's 4 notifications just up. Celtic, what are you playing at? Three days to go. The boys unfurl the Champions League flag at Paradise this Sunday at Paradise. Hashtag Celtic Killie. Hashtag Celtic FC. See if there's any hackers out there. Go and just hack. If there's anyone that watches, and I'm not saying ethically hack it, obviously. Don't hack my YouTube. Hack Celtic's Twitter and just tell Lawwell to get his finger out. And unbelievable. Let's jump back into some of the comments because there's now quite a few more comments coming in. Sign some players. Great one. Yeah, I think people are just a little bit fed up of the situation. When it comes to getting players in, you would expect the first thing that they would put out this morning is, "We have signed Paulo Bernardo, done deal." I just hope that Paulo Bernardo doesn't go, "Look, this wage structure is terrible. I'm off." No. That is now an actual fear that is going on in my body. Anyway, last season, 10 players were for this season. Not expecting anyone through the door. Maybe Bernardo, says Pork Chop Express. John Mount says, since the start of the winter streak now, the board have invested in the club. Probably you would have a real force in Europe by now. Yeah, we would have. Do you think the board and Lawwell are doing this because Brendan had a go, as well as Desmond's problem where he is counting over the owner of Millions playing golf? Mary Lou is head of football operations. Mary Lou is head of football operations. Lay off the Swally G and tears, Baz. The side effects are brutal. What? Carly has made it. Carly's in the house. Monty Baz, do we need an influential figure who can talk players into joining that isn't Nicholson? No, that's what the manager's for. That's what the manager's for. The manager picks up the phone. How many times did Ange tell us that before Nicholson and Co talked to a player, Ange would get on the phone to get into the mindset of the player? Ange said, look, he'd got on the phone to a few players and they weren't right for Celtic. They weren't right. The mindset wasn't right. What they wanted in football. And he says it's better that he has the conversations. It's better that he has the conversations than some money man. It should always be the manager. We don't need an in-between between the manager and the board. The manager, I'm an old-style football guy. Could you imagine Jock Stein turning around to the Celtic board back in the day? The Kellys and Whites and co. And can you imagine Jock Stein going, right, I want this player. Go and get him for me. Jock would turn around and say, get your Celtic carted. I'm the manager. I decide who comes. I'll go and get the player and I'll get him signed up and I'll tell you what wages he's on and you just pay the wages at the end of the month. Right? Simple. It's as simple as that. That's what your manager's there for. But these days, it's a coach. He's a coach. You've seen it in America. Hey, coach. Hey, coach. Can we speak to the coach? Fucking manager. The fucking coach. John Kennedy, in you come. Speak to this lot. He's the coach. I'm the manager. So Brendan says, sup, Baz? How come Ange got signings early and Rodgers too soft with the board? Yeah, I think so. John Mullen is laughing like, we need a left-sided defender, left back, centre forwards times 2. And Celtic are putting out hooray messages. Hooray. Hurrah. Celtic this morning said 3 days to go. If I can go by a trumpet today. The boys will unfurl the Champions League flag in paradise. I'm going to go into let's go into Facebook and see what people are saying on Facebook about it. Celtic FC. There we go, 20 minutes ago, 3 days to go. And there's been quite a few comments. DJ Sharpie says, few players needed for the Champions League. Let's get all the comments. Show all comments. 3 days to go to the new season. 0 outfield players. Absolutely embarrassing and makes us look like our little neighbours from the other side of Glasgow. Andy Tilley says Celtic should start offering you a £5 for matchday tickets. That's how they seem to be approaching to buy players. Rather than unfurl the flag, unfurl some signings. Liam Connolly says, how many days until we sign 3 or 4 quality players? Brendan says we needed in January. And then somebody from South Africa says champions and still no new players. It would be great for the fans if you could actually watch games Celtic FC. All subscription and PPV is ridiculous. Discriminating towards many fans. 3 days to go and no outfield players signed. Pardon me. The board are a joke. And then Gerard Kelly says, Del Poland, you're a joke. Great from Tunisia, I think that's. Heads need to roll for these last 2 transfer windows, says Davey. Complete joke. Well, heads have rolled. Mark Lawwell and his sidekick were basically kicked out the club back in March or April, and they were put on gardening leave till June, and Celtic haven't replaced them. Molly Yates, Sunday plans before to go home, and no outfield signing. What a joke we truly are. Come on, you boys in green, says Trisha. That's nice. Sign some effing players. Cheers. Announce James McCarthy contract extension. The banter. How can the board show their faces? Yes. Can you remember when Fergus McCann was at Celtic and we won the league? And the manager walked a couple of days later. When Fergus McCann unfurled the flag that next season, he was booed by Celtic fans. He was booed by Celtic fans for the treatment of a manager that should have still been at Celtic. He was booed. And I think Flag Day is all about remembering the boys of the old brigade of last season, showing our appreciation to them. But as soon as any of the board members show their face on the pitch this weekend, the fans need to let that board know exactly how they feel about the current situation of the transfer market. They have to. They have to let the board know by no uncertain terms. I mean, the Green Brigade are going to do a full around the ground banner, but as soon as a board member steps onto that park, they need to be shown exactly how the Celtic support feels. Wim Jansen, yeah, it was Wim Jansen. If we don't sign a couple of players before O'Reilly is sold, it will be disgraceful. Don't hold your breath on that happening, by the way. Do not hold your breath. I think this board will sit and go, can we wait on Matt O'Reilly being sold before we spend any players? Spend any money on players? We want to keep that 100 grand in the bank. You know, the 70 million that we had from last season, the 30 million that we've just brought in from season ticket money, the early payments that from the Champions League, the payments for the Champions League for last season. So we're sitting at about 100 million there or thereabout. Peter says that we've not to sign anybody until we sell Matt O'Reilly. Sorry. Peter says no. Peter Lowell says no. See we women sitting at the desk. It's Brendan for you. Peter, it's Brendan for you. Peter says no. Can't come in and see him. Can't come in and see him. Yin and yang. Yeah, yin and yang. The board only care about their bonuses, have no respect for the fans. Yep. Paul Brennan and Frank Brennan are like yin and yang. Yet the board members won't go to the game because they know there's going to be hassle. Lanky, the board members will go to the game. The board members only go to the big games. The board, and you're going to have that fucking useless. I'm not even going to say it because it'll cause an upset. It's going to be absolutely despicable, if you ask me. The board members are going to show their face. And the computer says, no, that's not the computer. It's Peter. Peter says, no. Sorry. Sorry, Brendan. He says no again. He says no again, Brendan. Brendan, he says no. Anyway, Celtic never spend more than they make from player sales. Yes, they are. Thanks for the tip, says Peter certainly said no to the referendum. Yes, he did that. The whole board were no voters. I can remember being outside Celtic Park handing out stuff to the board members as they walked into Celtic Park, telling them it was a lucky booklet for it was free tickets to the Celtic lottery. And they fucking took it and went, you dirty. Anyway, there is no news from Celtic. Once again, there's still no news. We're at 9:45 in the morning, Celtic Park time. People are a bit disappointed and disjointed. The fact that Celtic have put out a tweet saying 3 days to go until the boys unfurl the flag at Paradise. Celtic are going to end up with loan players and freebies, because it's the Celtic way. Anyway, we have been on the go for 33 minutes this morning. That's more than long enough for anybody to be on this type of thing. There's only been 992 views this morning because it's morning time and everybody's at work, because we had 206 current. There's 93 likes. Make sure that you do hit the like button. Murdo said Wim was always going to leave at the end of the season. Well, if that was always the case, why did we take him in the first place? Some of our own support didn't help. Thinking we finish above the Huns is all we need. Think bigger, says Monty. Exactly. And Richard, you're getting the last comment there. The board know that Brendan said he would be here for 3 years. They have him over a barrel. That is very, very true. Very true. They have him over the barrel, knowing that he's going to stay here for the 3 years and then off. Maybe they're banking the cash for a new manager that's going to come in after Brendan and then they'll spend it then? Don't think so. Definitely don't think so. Anyway, if there's any breaking news, you know who will be the first to jump on. It will be myself, Baz at the One Celtic Fans View. Thank you to everyone that's watched this morning. Have an absolutely fantastic day. I need to go and do some gardening this morning, I think, and get some suntan just to make the missus jealous because she's in Scotland and the weather's just Scottish weather, isn't it? Anyway, have a fantastic day wherever you're watching from. Celtic fans all around the world. 3 days to go. No players in.